All right. Welcome everybody to this Team Spirit Union call. So tonight, I have the pleasure to introduce Rose Monroe Smith. I'm sure like everybody knows Rose, but I'm going to say a couple of words about her. So she is, first of all, she comes from Team Spirit. She is the founder of Team Arise. She is a Six Diamond coach. She has been in the business for almost 4 years, and she hit the ground running, and she's taken it all the way to the top. So I just want to say a couple of words about her. So last year, she retired from her high school athletic training job. And thanks to Beachbody, they purchased a beach house, right? She got married to her husband, and they were able to stop this long distance relationship. They bought this beautiful beach house. And what else, Rose?
I think you got it all, Claudia.
You've been blowing it up, seriously. So I'm gonna pass it right to you. Rose will be talking to us about how to overcome objections. So I'm gonna pass it to you, Rose, and
I'll take it away.
All righty.
All right, thanks, Claudia, so much. I didn't even tell her what any of that stuff, but that stuff is just nice. It looks pretty, but it definitely took a lot of hard work to get to those places. But it's definitely possible. If I could do this, and coming from, I think most of you guys on this call know my story, so I'm not going to repeat it. But coming from the shy person that I was to the person I am now, definitely had to do with a lot of personal development. So, and I'll be talking about that on tonight's call too. So if you don't have any, something to write down this stuff, take a second, open up the notes section on your phone or computer, and you're going to take a lot of notes. So what I'm going to be talking about tonight is on how to handle objections, because especially as a new coach, that can be one of the most hardest things to overcome, because as a new coach, if you've never been in sales, I never did that. If you were never in network marketing, I never did that either. You understand from it, and sometimes you can take it a little personal when people tell you no, and it's really not personal. It's coming from the other person's point of view, where they might not just be understanding, or it just might not be the right timing for them, and you as a coach have to help them get through to where they would need this, and where they actually do want to make changes in their life. So before we even get to actually how to handle objections, we have to ask ourselves. So I'm an athletic trainer. So if you don't know what that means, it's pretty much I was like a physical therapist, but just for athletes. So one of the main things that an athletic trainer would do is to help prevent injuries. And it's kind of the same thing with Beachbody. We want to prevent objections before they even happen. So as an athletic trainer, I would make sure that, they're not doing these crazy exercises that the coach is making them do, that's going to, hurt their knees or hurt their ankles, or there's something not out on the field that they could potentially get hurt or injured from. For example, I remember when I first started athletic training, they would the basketball coach would give the girls gum. I'm right before they went on the court, I'm is that really a smart thing to be playing football and doing gum? But anyways, that was my job to say, wait, before someone chokes on it, or who knows what would happen. Why do we not give them gum right before they go out into the game? So when you're initially talking to someone, for you to prevent objections from even happening in the get-go, you have to do your job and finding out their why and getting that emotional connection from them. And it's not just the why of I want to lose weight, because everyone's going to give you that surface level why. You have to go in there and dig deeper, asking them what your biggest struggle that you have, or how would you feel if you lost those 5 pounds? What would you be able to do that you can't do now? Those are kind of the digging questions that you need to be asking someone why they want to do your challenge group, why they want to be a Beachbody coach. And you can, use what's called forming, asking them about family, occupation, recreation, message. If it's someone that you really, especially using social media, if you really don't know them, you need to get to know them first before you're going to be able to help them. And when I first started, this was the toughest thing for me, was to really follow a good flow in the conversation. And I hate to use the word script, because to me that sounds salesy, but you have to look at it coming from, you're a coach and you have to take them through this process, and it's up to you to take control of the conversation. Because if you let the conversation go wherever it's going to go, it's not going to lead to a place where they're joining your challenge group. So reading GoPro by Eric Worre, that was the book that completely changed my business. Because when I first started with my business, I didn't hit Success Club right out the get-go. No way. Like, it took me time to really understand, like, what do I really need to be saying? And GoPro goes through how to take control of conversations, what to ask people, the steps, and how to use, third-party tools, like using the videos in our Coach Online office instead of Beachbody vomiting onto people. So if you really haven't read GoPro, it's for my new coaches, and in our Coach Basics, that's the first book that we have them read or listen to. And I think maybe even I know in my team page, I have the audio of it for free, and I can definitely put it in Team Spirits page 2. But if you miss that mark, you're missing a big chunk. And if you're saying, well, I get a lot of objections, then you need to make that a priority to go and read that book. Another way for you to prevent objections before they happen is getting on the phone with people. I know that's super scary, and you're like, what do I even say? Believe me, the first time I got on a phone call, I stuttered, I blubbered. I don't even think I talked about Beachbody or the workout. It was like the worst conversation ever. But if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't have learned how to, talk on the phone, and, the flow of asking them questions and seeing what would be the right fit for them. So you have to just take that step and get on the phone with people. Again, it's just going to create that relationship with people that you're caring, right? If you're just staying behind a computer screen, people are going to notice when you say, let's get on the phone. They're like, oh, wow. So you really want to be representing yourself in the best way that you possibly can, and showing people that you're going to step up for them. Like, you're going to be their coach and be next to them. So get them on the phone. And when you're talking to people, as if they're already joining. So you can say, there are a ton of recipes, containers at home. I'm going to show you exactly how to use them. So act as if they're already joining. That way they almost kind of envision themselves getting home, the 21-day fix and opening their box. And a really great way that I've learned from GoPro is ask them things like, what kind of flavors do you like? Do you like chocolate, strawberry, or vanilla? Because sometimes I know it's hard to kind of use the closing with people, but asking them a question like that, what kind of flavor do you like? Chocolate, strawberry, or vanilla? And people will say, chocolate, great. We have vegan chocolate, regular chocolate. It kind of just gets you to that next point, right? That's obviously not going to be a question you're going to ask right out of the get-go, but it's going to be one of those questions that you can kind of, all these are going to be things that's in your toolbox. You're not going to use these all at once, but you're going to find and see with different people what kind of tools that you can use to help them get to where they're ready to make a change. And also, don't use weak words. And what I mean by that is saying, well, I hope you join, or maybe if you join, you might maybe make some income with this. No, like, be excited. Be confident in what we have to offer. I mean, we have an absolutely life-changing opportunity with the health and fitness and with the business aspect. So don't downplay it, because people, and I was talking to a lot of people this week in other businesses, and they say confidence it's not what you know, but it's just the confidence, right? Because you can say, you know what, I don't know everything, but I have this amazing upline, I have this amazing friend, coach, whatever you want to call me, or whoever your upline is, and I can get an answer for you. That's confidence. That makes people feel like they're being cared for. Regardless if you know the answer, you're going to go out there and get them the answer. And the other way to prevent objections from happening is be coachable. You be coachable. Let your coach coach you. So if they're saying, let me see some of your conversations, or let's get on 3-way calls, do that. Because without us being able to help you, and maybe wanting to try and do this on your own, there's no point in you floundering when you can get help from your upline, from the team. Obviously, I'm kind of preaching to the choir because you're on the call, but be a coachable coach and work with your upline, work with your team, and share those conversations so that they can kind of help you, and share those objections so they can tell you what they would do. Another thing for you to prevent objections from happening is watch your mindset. And this one I think is the biggest one of them all. So if you think Shakeology is too expensive, guess what? Everyone else is going to think Shakeology is expensive, and that's the objection that you're going to get. If you don't believe Shakeology has value, then go into the team page, look at all the transformations, go to your coach online. It's full of like success stories. So if you go into videos, and then on the side there is success stories for products, and then success stories for Shakeology. Go through those things so that if you're a brand new coach and you haven't had a transformation yet, that you feel that Shakeology is completely worth all the value and more because of how and what it does for people's lives. So watch your mindset. The way you feel is how other people are going to react to you. So the energy that you bring is the energy that the other people are going to bring, the people that you're talking to. So if you believe it's too expensive, you need to work on it. Do you believe in the work? Do you believe in the product? Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that you're a good coach? Do you believe that you can help people? If you don't, you need personal development big time. We all need personal development big time, whether you believe in yourself or not. But if you're right in, like, as a new coach and getting a ton of objections, and you're not doing personal development, that's the way it is. Do you feel strongly about Shakeology? Like I said, go through those testimonies in the back office or in the team page. And another thing is, don't be on the defense. Like when you hear someone talk about, I don't even know the other products. I don't even try and think about them. Like Shakely or another shake, or this person's doing that workout, or that person does the patch, or the wrap. Like, who freaking cares? But you don't have to let other people know about that. All you can say is, hey, I don't know about the patch, or I don't know what the wraps do, but I know that Insanity got me in the best shape of my entire life. So you're just sharing your experience. Don't poo-poo on other stuff, because it honestly just makes you look bad. It doesn't make whatever you're poo-pooing on look bad. It makes you look bad. So don't be on the defense, and just share your story with what Beachbody has done for you, and forget whatever everyone else is throwing in your way, right? All right, so let's kind of get into what happens when I actually get an objection. So common objections are too money, I do another shake, or I don't do shakes, I don't have the time, or I go to the gym. So those are all objections. I say like the majority objections that we all get. I learned this right in the beginning when I was a new coach, I went on YouTube like crazy and just like went balls to the walls and just looked up every top coach I could and just kind of saw what I was struggling with and looked for that on YouTube. So there was this guy called Tommy Migrant. You might know him. He was kind of, I think he was one of the founding coaches, but he did a whole thing on handling objections. So the next few things I'm going to share with you is from Tommy Migrant, and they work absolutely amazing. So if someone brings up Thrive and people are like, well, I use Thrive. How's that compared to Shakeology? You can use the I don't know, all I know is. I don't know about Thrive. All I know is Shakeology, gave me so much energy, and I don't even take a multivitamin anymore because I can. If someone says, well, I don't have the time. I don't know. All I know is that this saved me so much time because I just grab my shake in the morning and I drink it on my way to work for breakfast. So you don't have to, know all the answers. You can really use that I don't know, all I know is for a lot of situations. Another tool that you can carry in your tool bag if you need to use it. The other one is feel, felt, found. And that one might probably fit a little bit better for the I don't have time. I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way when I first started, that I wouldn't have time to work out or I wouldn't have time to meal prep. But what I found is that I'm saving a lot more time, during my lunch break, not driving somewhere to get something. Or, you can say for it's too much money. I know exactly how you feel. My mom felt the same way, and tell real stories, right? I know exactly how you feel. My mom felt the same way. She not and it took and she absolutely loved it once she gave it a shot. So it took her a long time, but she found that she has so much more energy after she retired now. But back in the day when she was a teacher, she had so much more energy when she came home, and that money was absolutely worth it. So use stories. So whether it's my story or someone else's story that you listen to, take note of these stories and use them in your tool bag that you can say, I don't know. All I know is, Nicole did this, this, and that, or, this happened to Nicole, this, and that way. And you can use those two things. So I don't know. All I know is ... and feel, felt, found. Another great thing that Carl mentioned, and I think maybe it was like last year, he did like this whole month of the 30-day money back guarantee. And I think we forget about that quite often, reminding people like, get it at home and you have the entire 30 days to eat the whole bag and send it back. I say, because Carl said that, that sounds kind of salesy. I say, I know it sounds kind of salesy, but I have to let you know, there is a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you eat the whole bag, you can totally send it back. And that's how I say it, right? So that's another thing that you can do is lead with your fear. So if you're fearing that someone might think you're salesy, just say, hey, I don't want to come off salesy, but I want to let you know about this 30-day money back guarantee. Or if you get on the phone with someone, lead with your fear and say, this is my first phone call. I hope you don't mind. I'm a little bit nervous, but I really want to help you out. So remind people of that 30-day money back guarantee, especially if it's a money issue or a money objection. Another thing that you can do when you get objections is be very specific. And this is probably going to come before you get the objection, meaning be very specific with people with what they're getting. If you're just like, oh, you get the 21-day fix and Shakeology and it's $106. People are going to be like, no freaking way. That's way too much money. I'm only getting two things, right? But if you break things down for people and you tell them you get cardio fix and yoga and upper and lower. So you get 7 different 30-minute workouts. You get a nutrition plan with a nutrition guide. You get different color-coded containers. You get a workout calendar. So you're shaping your body correctly. You get 30 meals of Shakeology. You get me as your coach, and that is your biggest asset. You are their coach. you are there to support and motivate them, and they have a group that keeps them accountable. So after you go through forming them and asking questions about their health and their fitness, and they're kind of, you're ready to kind of show them what we have to offer them, make sure you're telling them all those things before you say $160. So saying all those things sounds way better than just saying, oh, you get the 21-day fix and Shakeology is $160. No, tell them and be very specific with what they're getting so they know that they're getting an incredible value. And I don't know about you guys, but with this all access pass, people look at me and they're like, are you sure it's only $199? I'm like, I know, it's absolutely a crazy, amazing value. And people are blown away that it's only $199. So definitely use that now to your advantage. So what I'm doing is I only tell people about that because, I mean, if people don't see the value in that, I think they're kind of silly, but I know the value in it. So I'm projecting that confidence to people like that is definitely what you want. And sometimes I do bring up, well, you can get that workout for $160 or you can get everything for $199 and be like, wow, like that is an amazing deal. So don't forget to, tell people that right off the bat. Don't just say, oh, it's the 21-day fix and that's it. No, make people see the value in getting the whole package. They want fitness, nutrition, support to get results, right? If they don't have those three pieces, they're not going to get that end result. All right. So this took me a while to get, but when you're going through your messages, take time. I know it's so easy, especially, being busy, working full time. You're trying to get your messages done during lunch, or I did not say the car, don't do that. But when you're answering messages, take time to see what the objection is and take a moment before you kind of just like throw something out there and you're like, oh crap, I wish I said it a different way. So slow down with your conversations and really, and if you're new, ask your upline, all right, I got, she commented back with this, what do I say? Or ask yourself, what would I have wanted to hear? Or what does she need from me that would help her with this objection? So asking clarifying questions to those objections instead of just saying, okay, hands up, all right, I guess it's not for you, bye. Because I used to do that because I just didn't know any better. I didn't know how to kind of ask those clarifying questions. So if someone says, I'm too busy, what's going on in your life right now? Like, why is now not a good time? Get to know them, because even if it's still, this is still a busy time for me, at least you can, follow up with them the next month and say, hey, did work slow down? Are you traveling or are you back home? So you can start forming that relationship with them by asking them those clarifying questions. A good one is for people that say, I don't like shakes or I don't do shakes. What kind of shakes have you tried before? Right? You're asking a clarifying question and not just kind of throwing your hands up and say, yep, this one doesn't want it, and kind of throwing them away to the wayside. If it's about the coaching opportunity and they're like, ugh, like, that's a scheme. Oh, have you ever heard of network marketing before? Or did you know somebody that had an issue? That way you get to know what the issue really is. Did you have a bad experience before? Sometimes people have tried other shakes like Shakely or I'm trying to think of that one with the A word. I don't know, doesn't matter. Did you have a bad experience? You need to know that so you can say, well, and how it worked for you and how this time it's going to be different. A really great question that I really like. If money wasn't an issue, would you be in? And some people will say absolutely, right? So how can you help them? And ask for their permission. Do I have your permission to, see where this can fit in your budget? Can we go through your day? Can we go through your month? And then maybe that's a great place where you can say, hey, if you have 3 friends that join you, you can get this absolutely free. Or you can say, there is an opportunity where you can make an income from this. So definitely it depends on the person, but you can use all 3 of those different options with, if money wasn't an issue, would you be in? And a thing that I really love to do is post those objections. I know Bonnie Engel did the National Wake Up Call last week, but I believe maybe it was like 4 or 6 months ago, she did the National Wake Up Call then. And she talked about posting about her objections right on her Facebook page. She wasn't saying, hey, Sally, you told me this objection and this is what I think about it. No. You can tell people about your story, how you did not have enough time, that you were working a full-time job, that you were in a long-distance relationship, that you are traveling, 6 hours on Monday morning and all this kind of crazy stuff, but you still were able to do it. So post those objections with reflecting on yourself and how you were able to overcome it. And it's, you're not directly saying, hey, you, but you're showing people that you're willing to put it out there to other people. Because if someone else has those objections, if one person has that objection, someone else has an objection too. And then that way, when you do start messaging people, you don't get objections because you've already handled them. So if you've just been posting your Shakeology cup and saying, yum, I love my chocolate. There was a book that Bonnie talked about on this past National Wake Up Call called Start With Why. Starting with Why. Start with Why. There it is. By Simon Sinek. It's on my bookshelf. And you want to post why you drink Shakeology. Why did you first start? For me, it was because of late night football games. I would go home, eat like 3 slices of pizza, and feel absolutely horrible. So I wanted to find something that would help me, that I could literally drink on the sidelines for dinner instead of going home and shoving my face with pizza and whatever. So share why you're doing something. That's going to be way more valuable than sharing what's the chocolate shake. Why are you drinking the chocolate shake? And then when you start building that up, when you bring up Shakeology and those conversations, people already know about it, so you're not going to get those objections. And then the last thing is support people regardless whether they join you or not, they join your challenge group, support them anyways. 99% of the time, whether it's a month, a year, 2 years, 3 years, people are going to come back to you. They're going to say, that didn't work for me, I need help. And even if that did work for them, still congratulate them. I do that all the time. If I see people on, posting on Facebook that they lost weight, I don't care how they did it. Like, that deserves some recognition from them, right? And who never knows? It might not be for them, but it might be for somebody that they do know that does need to work out from home, right? So then also the last thing that you can do, the final thing, is ask them if it's okay to follow up with them for your next group, right? Following up is a big key. And even I did not do this in the beginning. And I was talking to somebody today, and, on like Messenger, you can see you talk to someone a while ago. And it was like in 2013 when I first became a coach, when I first talked to her. And it's 3 years later, and I never followed up with her. She told me no in the beginning, and I probably got scared and kind of threw her to the wayside before I learned. And that's what all this is, right? It's a learning experience, learning how to have those conversations. I never followed up with her. I make sure, get some sort of system, write people's names down, and follow up with people and ask them, is it okay if I follow up with you for my next group? And even if you don't ask that question, make sure you follow up with them. Make sure you invite them to every single challenge group, whether it's a free group or a challenge group like the Health Bet. You never know when people are going to change their mind. It might not be the right time for them now, but I promise you it will be the right time for them later. I've had this happen multiple times, where sometimes it does take people 4 years, but are you going to be here? And I always tell this to my coaches, be here a year from today, right? If that person 3 years down the road does want your help and you're not there, guess what? Too bad, too sad. You have to be here showing people that you're going to show up every single day, no matter what happens. And that's how you're going to build trust with that person. And that's when that person is going to come back to you and say, all right, I'm ready to join. All right, I think that is all I got for you guys. hopefully you got some good nuggets, but obviously I'll stay on. Answer any questions if you have a specific objection that you're getting a lot and you want my help or opinion with it on what to say. Click on mute and let's chat. Lisa said I took lots of notes. Thank you. You're welcome, Lisa. Anyone? Questions, comments?
I have a question. Actually, we're into this today. I have a coworker that I've been trying to switch over to Beachbody for about a year now. And the reason why she said she won't, because she'll pay like $200 to drive 2 hours for these diet pills and get like these shots and stuff, and it's totally unhealthy. And I'm just really concerned about her health. But the reason why she won't sign up with Beachbody is because she said she's tried the Shakeology like 3 or 4 years ago. And I tried Shakeology 3 or 4 years ago, and I didn't care for the shakes. But they've definitely, I feel like they've changed their, I guess, ingredients maybe, because it's not as chalky as it used to be from what I remember. How do you go about like approaching that situation?
Sure. So Shakeology they do change their formulas quite often. A really cool fact that I learned is that your taste buds actually roll over, I think it's like a month or two. So your taste buds do definitely change, but also it depends on what kind of diet or, food nutrition that you eat normally. If you're not used to eating like clean, healthy food, it's going to taste really funky at first, right? Like you're going to be like, what is this? Like, it tastes kind of earthy, but once people can get that in their system, their taste buds do adjust to it and they actually like it. And a funny thing that I used to think was awful was wheatgrass shots. I don't know if any of you have ever had a wheatgrass shot. When you're first, it's like, what in the world? What's healthy for you, right? But now, like I've had it so often that it almost tastes like sweet to me. I actually really like it. So it does go to say like that your taste buds and actually getting your taste buds acclimated to it definitely helps. But with her, what I would say is, hey, if I sent you, 2 samples, would you try it again? And tell her. And what I do, like I have a YouTube video that it's probably about like 6 minutes where I go through every kind of like scenario on how to make Shakeology. I tell them, if you want it thick, put avocado or put more ice. If you are using vegan, you have to blend it longer because the vegan protein is going to be a little bit more grainy or going to be a little bit thicker in the coarseness of the protein rather than whey protein. So really like walk her through this like step by step and ask her those kind of specific questions of what did you not like about Shakeology? Was it the flavor? Was it the consistency? What was it exactly? And really help her find a good recipe. So I would say, be willing to send her, some like two packets and really like walk her through it if she would want that, and obviously ask her. Cool. Great question. Anyone else?
I have one.
Sure, Tracy.
Hi there. It's really dark, so forgive me for saying this. But I have seen people post some crazy hateful stuff about Beachbody, even calling us cult-like, like trying to befriend people. It's just crazy out of the way stuff. And I'm just wondering, has anybody ever been approached with something like that? And what would you even say, to that? I know it's really dark, but
no, I mean, it definitely
I think
happened.
that's the worst thing I could possibly have said.
Yeah, no, it definitely happens. But like for me, if it's kind of like watching TV and the news. Like if you feed your mind with that stuff, it kind of like makes you like look over your shoulder and wonder like, like what bad is going to happen to me today? But if you don't pay attention to that stuff and you surround yourself with all of like the good positive things that like, you see like someone got really amazing results, or when we all go to New Orleans and we have an amazing time together, is that a cult? No, it's called friendship. It's called women supporting each other. People are going to hate on whatever they're going to hate about. It's up to you about protecting your mind. And I have to do that too. I did a little live video for my team last week. I got a hater message from one of my close friends, and it upset me. It was like, not that she was hating on me or whatever. She thought I was putting down athletic trainers, and I'm like, listen, I had to share my story with people, and that was part of my story. If athletic training is for you, that's absolutely awesome. We all need to find our passions. And she sent me another message with this whole long thing, and I'm like, all right, I can either continue to get upset by this, or I can, I said my thing that I didn't mean for it, that's not my intention. And if in your heart of hearts, if that's not your intention, that, you're trying to, bring people into a cult or whatever, like you were reading, then that's all that matters to you, right? You know what your intentions are. You know where your heart and where your mind is. So if you need to, and that's what I did, I kind of just X'd out that conversation. It went into the Facebook cloud somewhere. I didn't read the rest of it. And you know what? I know who I am, and that's all I need to know. So sometimes you have to protect yourself, protect your mind, and surround yourself with the things that you know. Did that help? Cool. Good.
Hey, Rose.
Hey.
Always with a question. Or
It's me.
more of a statement. I actually had somebody, and I was caught for a complete loss. She said to me she's tried every single flavor of Shakeology, and she cannot stomach any of them. She can't get them down. I said, wait. Let's talk about how you're making them. Let's talk about recipes. What do you like to eat? What kind of snacks? I'm sure I can find something. I went through the whole thing. She literally was just like, I can't get it past my gag reflex. I tried cafe latte. I blended. I added the. I mean, she told me like 5 recipes, but swore to me. And I said, well, sometimes I don't really love eating certain vegetables, but they're really good for me. And, it's like you kind of got to sometimes do it for the greater good, right? And she's like, I can't get past my gag reflex. I was literally like,
True story. If you guys know Nicole's she like her first she literally vomited from it. And she's like, I can't get this down. And sometimes it's not for everyone, and we have to be okay with that. I don't remember if it was like a recipe thing with Nicole or what it was. But if you're there and able to actually make it for her, is she far, like in a different state or something?
I don't know her that well. She's one of my patients. I mean, it gets weird with my patients, and then they become my Beachbody clients. Yeah.
I mean, I would just say,
I mean, she said she did everything. I was like, did you add ice? Have you tried a frozen banana? Like, I mean, I avocado and get smoother. I mean, we went through so much, but I really honestly thought she was part of my language. I thought she was full of shit. I was like, come on, all those flavors, nothing? You couldn't like any of them? I don't know. I just love it. I imagine not being able to figure out one they like. So I saw it as an objection, not so much as a true statement, but perhaps, I mean, if Nicole was vomiting, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I have to ask Nicole what it really was, what the issue really was. But maybe even with her doing more, I found a cool recipe for like Shakeology overnight oats. So you can mix the Shakeology and so it doesn't have to be a shake. You could just mix it in your oatmeal and have that for breakfast instead. So you have like chocolate oatmeal. It's always an option. Or doing like the popsicles. I do that in the summer that you can make with them. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello. Really good.
Okay.
Trying to think what other like concoctions that they can make. Because I know something like, I think it was in The Wall or something where people don't actually make the shake with it, but they'll make other things and have it that way. So, you know, like the Shakeology balls or something like that. So
Hey,
that
Rose,
could be an option too.
I asked,
Awesome.
I
He doesn't like Shakeology. So weird.
How about the performance line, like chocolate recovery?
I don't know.